Greetings, birds, turds, and nerds. It's Wesley Crusher, and I have a special guest on tonight.
Hello,
If you want to introduce yourself.
Sam. I've never done something like this before, so it might stumble a little bit.
And I'll let you know as soon as we actually get a viewer going. And Thomas Potts is first. Kapla, Thomas Potts. Thomas Potts, I have a special friend on tonight. There you go. Now you have a bird. Wait, but are you a bird of prey?
I would argue that seagulls are birds of prey.
And JP's is second. Hello, JP's. If either one of you guys want on, let me know. We can get a group chat going. This is my friend Sam. Wasn't feeling very well because been locked in your house for how many days?
I've been stuck in my house for 3 weeks.
And Josh Street is third, and we have a new viewer, X. How do you pronounce that?
I would pronounce that as like Philarix.
Philarix. Seagulls are birds of prey. Oh,
Listen, seagulls are birds of prey, and the proof that I have is that I am afraid of them.
There's a lot of inside. There's a lot of inside jokes on my channel because I have a community that watches other YouTubers, and one of them is Bird of Prey 5. So if we call you a bird of prey, it's not necessarily a good thing.
Oh no. Filaria,
yeah.
Yeah.
And Joseph is here. Okay, I'm gonna post the link in the chat if anyone wants to hop in here. And Matthew is alive. I'm sorry I was late, Matt. I was stuck at work. I basically had like 45 minutes overtime at work.
Oh.
Well, not overtime. It's pretty much I was the only one that stayed the entire time they were supposed to be there. JP's
first.
How are you doing, JP's?
Okay.
And Thomas Potts is telling me, make sure you watch the Bird of Prey stream from Tuesday. Well, what happened Tuesday? Wait, wasn't today Tuesday?
Yeah.
Is today Tuesday?
So,
it's Wednesday for me now.
Yeah, if you're in
Tuesday, an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, if you're in East Coast, it's now Wednesday, but here in California, it's still Tuesday.
Oh, look, it's Joseph.
But so what's captivity been like, Sam?
I have been inside of my house for 3 weeks. I did make some beef stew, and that was really nice. And I started crocheting again because that's it. That's all I got. It's the only thing I have running for me.
Uh-huh.
How have things been going for you?
Well, I think it's pretty well known. People know that I work a retail job. I won't tell who my employer is, but I don't get why so many people have the urge to go to retail stores when it's supposed to be only open for emergencies, for necessities. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm just looking around. I'm going to bring my whole family.
Okay.
Because they're bored.
Let me give you some insight into that. These walls are very small, and I like the outside. Please.
I mean, I guess like,
but I'm a responsible adult.
If you're in a heavily populated city, and that is the only thing you're allowed to even go to is stores, I kind of get it, but...
God, no. Oh, also, by the way, I'm on the East Coast. Because someone asked.
So, Sam, pretty much what I do is we just read the comments, and we have discussions about different stuff.
Okay.
Whatever random freaking topic comes up.
Or we just completely ignore the comments and talk about it whatever we want.
Joseph says, well, where I lost that comment, but he had a thunderstorm coming up, or so it was snowing up where my girlfriend is, up the mountains. I'm like, it's April. Why is there snow?
Gross. It was still snowing here in March, and that's disgusting enough.
We got a bunch of snow a couple of days ago, and it's all gone now.
Well, I like the snow because I never get it, so I wouldn't like it on the streets when I'm driving around. But if you could just like take the day off and go up to the mountains and mess around in the snow, that's fun. But and Joseph says good morning at Thomas Potts. Oh yeah, it's morning where Joseph is.
Yeah, but Yosef halfway around the world.
Thomas says snow is nice when it's not on sidewalks or streets. Yes, I would agree with that. If it's up in the hills, away
I
from
like
city
snow
life.
in theory.
In theory.
I like doing it off of cleavage.
But you lost my train of thought. But like earlier, I hopped in like Bert's stream just for a minute, and Mama Prey was like, "Oh, Wesley's still alive."
I didn't see that earlier.
Because I've been missing a lot of streams, which normally I'm like there on every single one.
Well, were you busy with work or something lately, or?
Yeah, this whole thing, this whole mess, has made work life busier and then home life busier.
I'm finally going to be starting a job again after like a year.
Both parties desperate.
So it'll be fun because I'll finally get out of the house again.
So I had to explain to Sam what this whole crazy YouTube nerd community is all about. Gotta break the insanity in. Or I was thinking I could pick up use your words on Steam and we could all play that. But I think we need like at least one more person. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be fun.
I don't know. I'm just up for talking right now.
I was doing a really stupid thing, and I'm gonna see if I can fix it.
Well, call it a name and then slam it on the floor.
Yep.
Ow!
Especially if it's an Apple product.
So Thomas, there's something I think Sam should explain to the community. Well, we lost Ka. Ka!
But it's still there. At least it shows them still there. Her. I don't want to, be incorrect, but
Well, I'll say it. Sam prefers to use the other pronouns, so he, him.
Okay.
okay.
Right? Hello?
Finally back.
Well, there
My
you
phone
go.
finally decided to work again.
Did you hear the last minute of this conversation?
I did not.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
we will never speak of it again. Wait, what is Joseph telling me?
I
Yesterday's
vaguely
bird
heard
stream
something about
ended.
pronouns.
Yeah, I don't know how you wanted to address that or not.
Oh, honestly, I've reached a point where I just don't really care as long as you call me Claw or Sam. You can use whatever pronouns you want.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Leslie
used to
said
be
Sam.
really militant about it. I used to be like really militant about it when I was younger, and it's like, if you don't call me he, him, I won't even talk to you. But now I'm like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Gender is fake.
Sam. Just Sam.
Okay.
Be respectful.
That's my wife.
Oh, so anyways,
Hello.
Joseph is warning me about the stream I missed. The end of it ended up becoming a Canadian Civil War.
Really? I must have missed it then
So
because
so was it Alexander and Ramlin Canuck going at it?
and if they were, I missed it and I'm sad.
So Sam, we got this small little community, and one of the people on here, his name is Alexander. I can't even pronounce his last name.
It's Alexander Pouliot Roberge.
He's the most French Canadian ever. He claims that Quebec is not part of Canada. He loves
Oh my
Russia,
God.
and he always says like the craziest things. Like he's got catch lines. His catch lines are like Asian Muslim wife from former USSR is best choice, and send me your Jar Jar figures, and or pay. Oh, yeah, you pay me and send me your Jar Jar action figures. What are the other ones he says?
He's just a giant troll that likes getting fed.
Or he's
There's
legit
something really
insane.
funny about the idea of someone trying to get other people to pay them to get rid of Jar Jar Binks.
Well, and then I'll come up behind him and I'll be like, I'll pay you to send me your Jar Jar figures and I'll burn them. Oh, and Momo challenge.
As long as you record it, you're
keeps-
doing
He keeps talking about the Momo challenge.
Yeah.
We're like, that
Fuck
meme was
some-
dead. That meme was dead. Why'd you bring it back alive?
Oh yeah, that was that weird statue that was creeping out children, right?
Yes. He keeps saying that it's going to attack him in his sleep or something. I'm not quite sure because he speaks more French than English. Like, even when he's speaking English, it just...
Maybe he wants the Jar Jar Binks to protect him.
There
wants
we
the
go.
Jar Jar
That's
action
what it
figures to
is.
protect him
Jar
from
Jar
Momo.
Binks and Neelix are protecting Alex from the Momo. Oh. He claims everyone wants to see MCU Aunt May naked now. Thanks, Joseph.
Oh, he also has
I would prefer not to.
709.
Well, and mustn't forget the
Unhealthy.
the unhealthy fascination with 709 and any other woman that's been in Star Trek.
But anyways, our other friend, Rambling Canuck, is just your kind of normal, friendly, laughable Canadian that just can't stand his bullshit.
Hey, that's two of us that can't.
I found it funny when it was just typing, but once he's been on live streams, then it's like, wow, you actually will say this stuff out loud, not just on a type.
God.
You okay there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking it's like the kind of person that like, as long as you can pretend they're joking, it's fine. And then they open their mouth and you're like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, and Alexander opens his mouth a lot.
think it's just a troll bit that he's playing.
I don't know.
I prefer to believe that over believing that it's like genuine, you know?
Exactly.
I think it's
It's
scarier.
like, there's two worlds that we live in. In
I think
one of
it's-
them, he's completely genuine.
Yeah, I think that would be the scarier option.
But the part about Quebec leaving Canada is founded in truth because they've tried to separate numerous times. And he's been born and bred into that mentality because he lives in Quebec.
Okay.
Now, I don't know a lot about Canada, but wouldn't that really hurt not just their economy, but also just their overall society? Because I mean, can you imagine if like half the United States wanted to break away?
We don't need no.
If they did that, you would imagine how much money they would owe Canada.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Is like as a country as a whole invest in all of its territory. So like the U.S., we have military bases all over. We have infrastructure all over. So it's like, how do you come to an agreement that a said territory is now its own independent country? I mean, we don't really. I mean, the USSR is probably the last time a major thing like that happened, but they were independent countries before, you know, Soviet Russia basically took
Yeah.
them over.
Yeah.
And we would never let something like that happen in Canada. So it would break down into civil war.
Yeah, well, it would have to be a civil war for it to actually split. And then everyone in the U.S. would just be sitting there looking, go, what the fuck do we do?
And then the major part is like in Quebec, it's like they consider themselves special because they're French and English, and they call it a distinct society, where it's like, oh, everything's got to be in French and English, and it just goes absolutely crazy and out the door.
Thomas was saying something. Oh, wait. Too much chat.
Huh.
Yeah. This is what happens when you look away for a minute. Joseph, if a small territory separates from a large unit, the small one suffers like crazy. Yeah. How big is Quebec compared to the whole rest of Canada?
I would say it's
Like
the
1/3?
second largest province with the second most amount of population. So, like Ontario is mostly populated with the highest population. That's like right next to Quebec, just to the west of it.
I mean, I think it would hurt Canada and Quebec as a whole, but probably more Quebec than the rest of Canada.
Well, not only that, it's like
Canada would survive.
yeah, and plus the U.S. gets like a crap load of power from Quebec and Ontario, like all down the eastern seaboard and into Midwest. That's where the hydroelectric power comes from.
Joseph said, I can come on the stream in about 3 to 4 minutes, and I'll tell you my perspective from a small Central Eastern European country. Well, cool. I always like having Joseph up here.
Where is this again?
I think Josef's in Slovakia. It's one of the S countries
Yeah.
that used to be part of Soviet Russia, I think.
Anyways, see, I told you we go on random topics. It's just like, where the hell did this conversation go?
Nah, it's interesting to listen to. I just don't know shit about Canada.
That's fun.
Like, if you would ask me before, is Quebec part of Canada? I probably would have gone, I don't know. That sounds right.
I have a friend of a friend that lives in Canada. It's so when I look at a map, I know exactly where it is, but without the map, it's like,
That just makes me giggle. I'm like, American education system at its best.
oh yeah, we're dumb. Toronto. Well,
Toronto's in Ontario.
yeah,
Oh,
this
Vancouver.
Vancouver's in British
That's in
Columbia.
Canada.
he's on the southern part of Toronto, almost to like the border where Detroit is.
Yeah.
Like the way I was described is if he throws a rock, it might fall in the U.S.
Yep.
The only reason I can remember the Vancouver is in Canada is because one time I was applying for a job and I thought it was in Vancouver, Washington, and it was not. It was in Canada.
Yeah, Vancouver's just over the border of Washington. And
Yeah,
that's
it's Washington, Oregon.
Yeah,
It's on the Washington side, like
there's Vancouver and Vancouver Island.
Yep.
yeah,
And like
Geography.
Vancouver's furthest west of Canada.
Yeah, it's the part all the Alaskans want to take over so they can have a highway that connects to Washington.
No. That's what I have to say about that.
Yes.
It's a joke, but I bet you people in Vancouver all the time have people from Washington State or Alaska trying to get from one to the other. And it's like, we either just need to build a giant highway from Washington State to Alaska. That's paint red, white, and blue just to piss off Canada.
Oh my god.
What happened?
I'm just saying it's kind of funny that there's one state that's separated by the rest of a whole nother country.
You guys don't want Alaska anymore, so just give it to us.
Yeah.
We'll trade you Quebec for it. They want to leave so bad. You could take Quebec, and we'll take Alaska.
Well, I think that'd be better than the U.S. selling Alaska to China or Russia.
Because Alaska's got oil reserves.
God.
I mean, at least Hawaii, it's an island, and there's so there's not another country in the way of it. You just get on a boat or a plane, you can go straight to the rest of the states. But Alaska, I mean, yeah, you could take a boat to Alaska, which is probably what most people do, or a plane, but
Yeah, but you could just drive through another country to get to your own country.
I remember still in like, what was it, mid to late 90s, Canada was seriously contemplating buying Haiti. Yeah, because the like it was
What?
it was so poor down there, and they're basically such military strife, and the country was going to hell in a handbasket. And basically, we're going to come in, just buy it, make it a part of Canada, and then take it over. And they were perfectly willing to let that happen. And it was after all those hurricanes hit that area. But I guess they've slowly gotten back on their feet.
Somehow it didn't occur to me that a country could just buy another country.
Why not?
well, if you look at
Look at China. They own most of the U.S. and Canada.
private sector markets.
I wish I could
but
argue.
but not like actual physical land.
Oh, trust me, there's actual physical land involved. Like oil reserves, they kind of sold off some to China.
All right, where's Joseph? Hurry up, Joseph! I don't know what he's doing, but see, we got in silence on the stream. That's bad. Thomas Potts, there are places between countries that neither country says is theirs.
Yeah, but that could be a reason why.
I remember seeing a video. It's like the strangest territories where it's like, I remember the craziest one was like inside. It was like a bunch of boxes. The most inner box is one country. The next box is another country. The box after that was the first country, and the box outside of that was the second country. So it's like people multiple or on a daily basis have to travel through multiple checkpoints of different countries.
Yeah. And I know there's a couple.
And it's like why not just trade different territories so it's like a nice even line? Come to some kind of agreement that will make everyone happy.
I think there's a house on our border with the U.S. that's basically split in half. One side of the house is Canada, the other side of the house is the U.S.
Okay, that's a weird one because then it's like you're a citizen of what country?
Do you just get a dual citizenship at that point?
Why the heck not? Otherwise, you can't go to the other side of the house.
well, like
See, now I'm just picturing Border Patrol like breaking down the door because someone took 5
or you have a
steps
border
in the wrong
patrol sitting in
direction.
your house.
well, there was, I saw on a map somewhere. It was called Smugglers Inn. It was around on the border, and then there's a sign that says it's illegal to pass these rocks or something.
Joseph's backstage.
He's here.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he's here. Good morning, everybody.
Hopefully he didn't hear us talking shit about him.
Of course I did. Of course I did. I'm here the whole time. It's just the problem is it's my normal working hours right now, so I don't know how much time I have or, yeah, the usual stuff. And you obviously needed an Eastern European accent in the stream.
Of course you did. Dude, honestly, you have an awesome accent because it's an accent. It got flavor to it, but we can understand every word you say clearly.
That's good. That's good. You were right with Alexander and his French, English / Russian mix. It's sometimes hard to understand, but I have as well a problem with the Irish guys when they appear in the various streams.
Yes.
And it's not and it's nothing about the against the Irish. It's simply a fact. That's it. And it's a funny situation because I used to have an Irish manager for a few years, and I can remember I didn't speak proper English. I couldn't understand everything, and they gave me an Irish manager, and I was like, okay. And then we had our first one-to-one meeting over the phone or over Skype, basically, and it was just like, what? Can you repeat it, please? Please, again? So basically, we exchanged probably our names and the basic information, and it took us like an hour to do that. So yeah, crazy stuff. Anyway, hello, Chloe. We didn't meet before, so nice to meet you. And I would
Hello.
even turn on my camera, but my hair is completely messed up. All the barbershops are closed. So what I did, I stalked down my barber I found his I found his phone number. I pinged him like, please, what can you do? And he told me, yeah, I'm working. I'm working and I'm visiting my customers, and I'm doing their haircuts wherever is possible. And since I have a garden, so I'm going to get my haircut next week, Tuesday, 2 o'clock, in my garden. It will be the first. Yeah, I hope the weather is fine because an electric razor and rain don't fit together. So
If
Oh.
that doesn't scream European, I don't know what does.
it's like desperate situations require desperate measures, you know. So and I'm not that much into braiding my hair. So,
Well, is your hair getting pretty long?
no, I'm joking. It's I like my hair cut short. You know, like
Uh-huh.
sides down and just basically. And the thing is, I used to have long hair, and when I say like long hair, I mean really long. Like I'm. Jesus, your American measurements, your feet and inches.
Just
But
tell me in centimeters.
2 meters. I'm 2 meters tall. Yeah, and I had my hair waist long. So
Oh.
can you imagine? Yeah. So and 2 meters. Yeah. So.
Well, okay,
2
look.
meters,
So if
feet.
yeah. If you're 2 meters tall and it was all down to your waist, so that'd been about a meter long, right?
Yeah.
So that's about 3 feet 3 inches.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But it
was
was
like
it was
Cinnabon
decades
hair.
ago. It was decades ago. Cinnabon's hair is short compared to what I have. I had. So yes, I accept cookies on your stupid website. Okay, meters. Let's say 2 meters, not 32 meters. That would be just too long. Yeah. It says 6.6 can be. Oh, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My brother
I-
my brother is right at 6'6", so he's 2 meters tall. So
Yeah. So it's so I'm not a short guy, definitely. Guess who's the guess who's the designated Windows washer in our household? Yeah, you can reach all to the top. Yeah, and yeah.
Like, here's a ladder. So can you.
So Sam, Joseph here might be just a little bit taller than me.
But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, when we were talking about the Canadian situation yesterday on the stream, it started as such a nice stream where Joe was just playing his game and he was like, okay, I do an open line, so that I can play my game and you guys can chat. And of course, Alexander came and he started to talk about Quebec separating. I have zero idea about what's the whole thing about Quebec and the rest of Canada. But definitely, I can remember we as a country, as Czechoslovakia, we were occupied by the Russians basically right after the World War II. Yeah, and the situation got worse in '68, where there was like such liberal moods, despite being a communist country. In '68, there were some liberal moods, and people wanted to have more freedoms, and everything was rosy and nice, and the markets started to open to the Western markets a little bit. And the Soviets didn't like it, so they sent occupying tanks into the country and put us on the hard communist route. immediately. And yeah, the situation lasted until 1989, where first the Berlin Wall fell, and basically then the whole communist bloc disappeared within few months. Within few months. Then we were once again. Then we were like Czechoslovakia, and then we switched to a federation. So it wasn't like one country, but like two countries in a federation. And then in 1993, as of January 1st, 1993, the countries split in a very peaceful way, and two governments were created and everything. But Slovakia is 1/3 of the former Czechoslovakia, and we had only few types of industry, and everything. Basically, nothing was prepared very well, despite having our own army, having our own healthcare system and everything. But we really suffered through the first decade. The second decade was a build up. Now it's now in November we had. So in January it was 27 years since the split, and now I consider the country as a healthy country with good economy, and everything's working fine. Of course, you have like gazillions of problems, but which country doesn't?
Yeah.
But I have to say that the economy works. So yeah, at least was working like 4 weeks ago.
So I just saw my viewer count go down from 5 to 4. So I'm sad. Bye,
who
viewer.
left? Yeah, I came to the stream and somebody left. That's just horrible. Yeah, nobody loves me. Oh, I'm so sad.
No, you can make it
I
better.
think I'm gonna have to swap to just being in chat, not having audio on, because it is lagging for me real bad.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, but and yeah, Thomas,
okay, everyone's robotic.
Bert didn't force me to read the chat. I volunteered there.
Well, Sam, if you go just watching it on YouTube, type in @Wesley Crusher and it'll highlight red, and I'll see it and I'll read all your comments.
Sounds like a plan.
Now I'm just like, oh great, what is Sam gonna write in the comments?
I'm not going to shave it off. I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, okay, so I missed a lot of the chat. I think it was Thomas said my picture is scary. Like, come on, it's just my military gear. Yeah. You don't like my bump helmet and my face mask?
If it was someone else, it would be an improvement. It's just it's now it's okay. Yeah.
See,
I'm
that,
having
that kind of stuff I would wear every day, even if there was no quarantine.
Yeah.
Well, it's like everyone else had pictures of them with the medical mask on, even Cinnabon. So I was like, okay, I need my picture.
Yeah. I started with it. I have to say, I'm the trendsetter here. I started with the face mask stuff. JP's, what does it say in your picture? You
tried.
You tried. Okay, you tried.
You get it? It's a participation trophy.
Yeah, participation trophy.
Oh, so Thomas was scared that I kept his picture up for too long. Okay. Well, here's Thomas Potts' picture again.
Forced to volunteer. Yeah, the Karogan way, of course. It was fun because previously we were in Cinnabon's stream that was I think something like 3.5 hours long, and then the Bird started streaming, and he made an open mic session. So I came in, and yeah, the thing is, the streams are usually for me really like middle of the night or start late in the evening, and obviously, what can I do right now if when everything is on a lockdown, and now even you cannot since the Easter holidays are here or coming, and here's a tradition in the whole country that people are moving from place to place and basically visiting their families and everything. The prime minister went with some suggestions that came from he has a like team of crisis managers, and he put the country on a travel lockdown, so you can move only within your county,
Uh-huh.
or if it's a larger city, you can move only within the city limits, and you cannot go outside so that the virus doesn't spread or something. And he was like, if you visit your grandma now, it can be there won't be an Easter visit next year for your grandma because you're going to kill her. so
Well, yeah, a lot of people are actually concerned of mostly of the elderly. It's like they should definitely be isolated. It's kind of sad, but yeah, it'd be horrible if you go visit grandma and then she gets the coronavirus and
and then there's no more grandma. Yeah. So if you want to cross the county borders, you have to. There are really like police controls, and you need to have, if you go for work, you need to have your work contract with you that you are employed in a different county, and then they'll let you. And if you break the rules and they turn you around, you get fined like €1,500 immediately.
ooh,
And okay, you don't need to pay it like on the spot, but they
Yeah.
get your address and they will send you a nice letter. So, and the situation, but he announced those measures on Sunday, and that everything starts with Wednesday midnight. So basically, for me, it's the last 9 hours. And I can tell you that what yesterday happened, all the largest city is Bratislava, the capital city, and everybody who wanted to leave the city left the city anyway. So the highways were
just leave the whole country.
jammed. Yeah. So it was crazy.
I mean,
And
how long does it take to drive to Poland?
Depending on where you live, I'm in the southern part, so it would take me probably something like 3.5 hours.
So you're
But-
kind of closer to Hungary or Austria?
Hungary and Austria, yeah, exactly. Basically, when you look at the map of Slovakia, Bratislava as the capital city is on the southwestern in the southwestern corner of that country.
Yeah,
And basically, I am and the city is and I live like 40 clicks, which means something like 25 miles outside of the city. It's it's 60 kilometers, so something like 40 miles to Vienna. And basically, all the many people from Slovakia, since Bratislava is extremely expensive as a city, it's compare it, of course, not in the monetary way because that's not possible, but compare it like New York and whatever city in the middle of the United States. Yeah. So very expensive. So people who want to work in Bratislava, they bought up houses in the villages in Hungary and Austria, because for those countries, those were like villages on the border, nothing interesting. But for us, it was close to the capital city, and it's really from some of the villages is under 15-minute drive, so nothing. And there is and since the borders are open, okay, not now, but the usual situation is that there are no borders. You just go and cross between countries, yeah. And you don't have even problems with stuff like, I don't know, mobile phones, because within the EU, you doesn't matter where you have your contract. You basically pay the same money for calls or data. Doesn't matter where you are, because you can just freely travel. So it's really nothing. So people are living in those villages, and now they are cut off from the country, because now all the borders are closed.
Oh, gee.
So no, they created after some negotiations, they created an agreement that people can cross the country borders, like with tons of paperwork, if they live 30 kilometers, which means something like
Yeah.
under 20 miles, area around the borders, and they have a work permit in Slovakia, they can cross the borders. But otherwise, all the travel is banned. Everything is banned. It's like when I look at the sky, there is nothing. Clear skies, no vapor trails from planes or something. Nothing.
Yeah.
I almost said chemtrails, because I'm watching too many conspiracy videos, but those are not chemtrails. It's just water vapor.
Well,
Yeah.
Thanks for the middle European news update.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't get it. You get your 3 to 4 letter abbreviations of TV stations that are talking only about the situation in the United States.
And it's completely different here in Canada. We get news everywhere. So.
Yeah. But
I mostly get news and stuff from online, so there's a lot of information.
Yeah,
So.
you can get everything. You can get everything online. Honestly, I don't even watch TV. I have like a news channel, and basically when I wake up in the morning, I turn on the news channel on my mobile phone. I just listen to the 30-minute news block, as they put it. Yeah, and I always turn off when they start to talk about sports. It's not that I wouldn't be interested, but there's nothing about sports. They are only talking about football players, and I mean soccer players who got their knee hurt, and now they are recovering. And I like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, there's no sports right now, so it's like my news is dead.
Exactly. Well, what I considered extremely funny was there was a cycling race. They were and it was done in a virtual environment. The cyclists were at their homes on stationary bikes.
Well, that would work.
Yeah, and they did like a virtual track, and it was like watching a computer game on the screen for the viewers.
I just thought of a funny joke when you guys talking about news of the sports. That that Family Guy skit they do at the news. The guy he yells everything, and today's news on sports. No sports.
Yeah.
Exactly. No sports. So that's exactly what's going on.
As a video game nerd, I'm just laughing at all you guys. I'm just like locked inside the house for days on end. I got this.
You know what? But the thing is, trust me in one thing. I'm working for over 5 years from home. I now in quote celebrated my 5th year anniversary in February. Working from home, and so I thought that I'm prepared for this. I don't mind staying at home. But then you slowly realize that, okay, you cannot go to a cinema to watch a movie. You cannot go here. You cannot go there. Everything is closed. Not a single bar visit. Not a restaurant. Nothing. And so when the most exciting social contact becomes grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even surprised that people are going so much more for shopping.
So Sam was saying is they need to make that sport the giant balls. It's called bubble soccer with a giant inflatable, ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, because in those you are isolated and
Yeah.
No, it's just crazy. And okay, yes, in the middle of the night, I got an email from the travel agency because we have holidays paid for in July to Turkey, and it's almost like 4K. And they sent me that the case cancellation fee will be and when around 1K. Or I can put the money in the deposit of the travel agency and select my next holidays up to October of next year.
Yep.
So now the question is, do I want the money back? Do I want the money back, or and suffer basically the quarter of the money loss of 25%, or shall I leave it with them and select my next year's holiday?
Will that company still be in business?
That travel agency, the travel agency will be in business. It's actually a Czech travel agency, but I booked the order via it's like via an aggregator of travel agencies. They are basically collecting all the travel agency offerings, and they are offering it, and they have 100% insurance if the other travel agency should go bankrupt. They have 100% insurance that we will get the money. So in the case if the travel, actually, it would be better for me if the travel agency went bankrupt, because in that case I would get 100% of my money back. It's within the EU. It's a law because there were, especially I think it was exactly when there was this huge economic crisis in 2008. Yeah. Many of the travel agencies went bankrupt, so the EU created a mandatory law that every single travel agency has to be insured against against bankruptcy. So nobody loses money, and if you lose some money, it's usually the only money that the customer loses in that case is the insurance fee, and the insurance fee within the whole pocket of money is maybe, I don't know, 20-30 euro. So it's nothing compared to of course the 3K or 4K that you have to pay for your holidays.
If I was you, I would hold on for next year, because I'm sure by then you'll really want that vacation.
I want that vacation like yesterday. So
I know, but
so yes, this is exactly. I leave the decision up with my wife because
happy wife, happy life.
She knows. She's the Excel type in our household, so she's the accountant for everything. I always say I have no money. I have only pocket money, which is you know what, she loves that stuff, and it's less sorrow for me, less problems. So it's okay with me, as long as there's money on the credit card and I can go and buy some groceries and some food for my dogs and cats. I don't care.
Go get that toilet paper.
It's really not a problem. You know what? Latex gloves. This is something that is something that you cannot buy because everything was
Hold up. Everything works.
Thomas Potts, please tell me, how did you come up with the name Bardeov? Because
What?
He just put just read the comment, because he put the random city from Slovakia. It's actually a very nice city where you they have hot springs there, and people go for medical treatment over there. It's a very nice city, and they trust me, the city would die like in 1 week if they separated.
Oh, okay.
You know what you do about the latex gloves there, Joseph?
Oh,
Do they sell reusable rubber gloves like for cleaning?
yeah, that even we have at home. It's not a problem. The problem with those that I have, for example, at home, is my hands are not tiny, and those are like the size M or L, and I would need an XL. So
Yep.
Okay. So-
Yosef's like my size. I need extra large gloves.
yeah. But you know what? It's less of a problem because our government put crazy measures weeks ago. So it's definitely not an extreme, because when you go to the stores, so wearing a face mask is a law. So you go outside of your house or flat, you need to have a face mask. Second point, when you go to stores, you have if you have the selling area, whatever the area of the store is, you can have only one customer per every 270 square feet. So what they did, they took away all the shopping carts, and they left outside only as many shopping carts as they have the area of the store. And if there's no shopping cart outside, you cannot go in. So only if somebody comes out, gives away the shopping cart, you can take the shopping cart and go in. And you have hand sanitizers everywhere, and you have wet wipes with alcohol at the entrance, so you can basically clean the handle of the shopping cart.
Uh-huh. I wish
And
all the stores did that. That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's actually
and that's it. And what you can do when you go and buy the like bread or these bakery products, pastry, you have there the single-use thin gloves, so you can take those. It's not a problem. But the typical single-use latex gloves, surgical gloves, they are a bit problematic. So because obviously hospitals and doctors need to be supplied first, and the supply chain is a bit problematic. But that's the same problem around the world. Yeah.
All right. So, Cinnabon, you've been in the stream waiting for a turn. How are you?
Very tired.
Yeah, you're quiet too.
Why are you awake then?
Somebody's Skype message woke me up.
Oh, oops.
Was it you, Wesley?
Yeah, I messaged and was like, "Hey, you awake? Wake up! Wake up!"
I wasn't, but I am now.
You're not doing anything important.
When you guys talking about separatists again?
No, I just put in perspective. I just put into perspective the situation that happened yesterday and compared it to Czechoslovakia and then the split in the early 90s. And that was it, because Alexander was talking as well. When I left the stream, he was bringing up exactly this situation here with Canada, and I was like, "Fuck, I should have stayed," but it was really already after very late after midnight, and I thought I had to go to sleep.
That was the most insane stream I've been in a long time.
Exactly, and I and Alexander almost exploded there.
Well, so
He
did
was-
Rambling Canuck too a couple times.
Yeah. But Rambling was way calmer than
Oh, yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Way calmer.
Alexander went
And-
off the rails.
I still think it's different though if a small country was taken over by a large country, and then later they gained their independence back, than just a state or a province dividing from the main country. I mean, yes, I'm from a country that was a province that broke away from the mother country, the colonies from England, but
No, you're not.
what? But look, I mean, but it didn't take the U.S. quite a while to really prove themselves as a valuable country.
Not really.
Did you manage right now to prove yourself as a country? Oh, I think you did.
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like the first 30 years of the U.S., we were just a small little dot on the map.
Nope, we were always great. Even before we were around, we were great. The greatest nation in the world.
Oh,
And even the split that we had. Just imagine the economic situation. We were basically post-communistic countries with zero international connection, with minimal international connections, and we were self-sufficient in the way like either you have it or you don't have it. Yeah. So, but now with all the world economy so connected, you cannot just imagine. It's basically the same situation like with Brexit now, with the UK separating from the EU, and UK is either the strongest or the second strongest economy in Europe. Yeah, with Germany. And they will suffer. And the British pound went way down because of the Brexit, and it's the largest country, largest economy, and they if they don't negotiate good treaties with European Union, they will end up with a huge mess in terms of agreements, in terms of travel, moving goods, moving people moving from one country to another. It will be a mess if they don't come with good agreements. So the situation is, if Quebec should separate, yeah, as an island in a country, and they wanted to have their independence and become a separate country, they would have to negotiate everything the same way. And the thing is, if you're big, you get a way better conditions than if you're somebody who's small. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You need to get your own currency.
Maybe. Because I
What-
suppose
what-
they could be treated like they could be actually treated like an Indian reservation. Just a country within a country, but they still pretty much share the same.
And question: do the and you're talking from an experience in the United States, right?
Mhm.
Are those Indian? How did you call it?
Reservation.
Reservations. Are the reservations prosperous?
no.
No.
Are they doing well? Do they have a good education system? Do they have everything set up within their economy? No, they don't.
No, they're
Exactly.
completely
That's the thing.
mismanaged. Yeah.
It's So, and this is exactly the situation that would happen there.
Oh, right.
And I'm not saying that I was, or my country was in the same situation, but in a very similar situation. And we were not, and the things that we were suffering, we were anyway ramping up to a certain lifestyle, to a certain way of living. But now there is a certain lifestyle, certain way of living established already.
Mhm.
And just imagine you would be kicked down like not few, many steps backwards in terms of the way of life. Yeah. The economy would suffer immediately. There would be people losing their jobs. Everything that you have saved in your account, every single valuable thing would lose its value. And now, are you willing to suffer for maybe under a decade, maybe, to go back where you were previously? And then the question is, where is the rest of the world in the meantime?
Right.
You know, so those are like gazillions of questions, because here where I am, we were under the Soviet occupations. Not only us, but it was Poland, it was Hungary, yeah,
And Ukraine.
and Ukraine wasn't under occupation. Ukraine was a part of the USSR.
Oh, okay.
It's and when I say occupation, it really means political influence enforced by constant presence of the Soviet army. It's basically what happened to the Crimea in that belonged to Ukraine, and since Crimea had predominantly Russian people, Russian citizens, what Putin did, he basically annexed a part of a different country. So it's not unheard of from before, because you had the Soviet Union that was how many? I don't even know how many different countries put together, like 15.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. Those were all countries, for example, that were part of the Soviet Union as a one country. We were not a part of it. We were just occupied by them, by political and military influence. And of course, we had zero saying into going into into, I don't know, businesses with Western countries. That was just crazy situation. I always say it was like after World War II when Germany was split between Russia and the United States. What happened to Berlin? Berlin as a city in the middle of the Eastern or Soviet occupied part of Eastern Germany, yes, was split into, and you had basically an island of Western civilization in the middle of a Soviet occupied part of Germany. It was just crazy. And I remember I was in Berlin. I was in Berlin in something like '87, and I went to where you have the Brandenburg Gate, the famous Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. Just imagine it's basically a place with a beautiful gate with a statue on the top, and it was split in the middle. It was split in the middle between a western and eastern part. Ridiculous. You have city split in two, and it's two different countries. Ridiculous when you just think about it. So this was the crazy situation until '89. Yeah, then in October the Berlin Wall fell. In November, basically, we had our change of regime, and in the same time, Poland and Hungary underwent the same situation. But it was obviously the Soviets couldn't hold it anymore together because Chernobyl broke them, and Reagan with the huge military investments broke the Soviet Union. So those two things, they were not able anymore to keep everything together.
Joseph, you're starting to sound like a pro Reagan.
You know what? Probably yes. But you know, I'm looking at the situation more from the historical perspective.
Yeah.
And
So,
and
if you were-
honestly, I don't care about the the Democrats versus Republicans.
You're describing that you remember Berlin from the late '80s, so you've got to be a little bit older than myself here.
I'm 44.
Okay, not 9 million years old like Anti-Checker, but
He's the same age, isn't he?
but enough to remember. No, I don't remember AT's age off the top of my head.
Anti-Checker is turning either 51 or 52 on the 20th.
Yeah,
52 centuries.
which reminds me, I got to talk to him. I was trying to talk him into doing a birthday stream, us, me and him together, because our birthdays just one day apart. Not even really one day apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing that Reagan did was basically getting the Russia to fall and concede almost, and NAFTA, and that's it.
Okay, so I like Sam's comment. This is a better European history lesson than I ever got in school. Yeah, if you really want to learn a part of history, is you just talk to someone who experienced it. And so Joseph, experienced it from a
It's first-hand experience, yeah.
You also freed Slovakia. He was a national hero.
If it was the truth, no. I was at the time when everything changed. I was 14. So honestly, I had more restrictions from my mother than from the government. So, but definitely, if you remember things like. Basically, sometimes basic supplies missing in the stores was pretty common thing. That you could get oranges from Cuba only around Christmas. That you had only
oranges from Cuba.
Yeah, oranges from Cuba. Of course, Cuban oranges were very famous here, and they obviously they kept the good stuff in Cuba or to other markets, and they sent us all the dry kinds. When the oranges arrived, they were just horrible. So there we had like series of jokes about Cuban oranges here.
Okay, I mean it makes sense to me. No oranges grow there, but where I live, oranges grow like on every other tree. So
yeah. No, but you were an imperialistic capitalist country, and we couldn't trade with you.
I know,
and Cuba was so friendly.
I love that.
We're just spoiled brats over here with our oranges growing off trees.
But yeah, I've noticed that like trying to go shopping lately in the past couple of days here, and you pull up into the parking lot and you see lineup of like 20 to 30 people outside the store. And you go to multiple grocery stores, and it's like that at every one. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is this? Soviet Russia? I'm going to get some loaf of bread.
I need to put my headphones down for about 1 minute because I want to bring up my cigarettes. And
Cuban cigarettes.
Just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna start swearing, Jay.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yes, there are, and I'm having the IQOS, the electronic type, that was available here way earlier than it's in the United States. Because the FDA took an eternity to approve it, and it's a Philip Morris product, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, kind of stupid then.
Yeah. But anyway, I have them downstairs, and I need to get those. And I wanted to, and I almost used the British word for cigarettes,
The peg?
which would probably not echo very well with the stream. So
I
This
have
is
know,
my
but-
channel. I'm like not monetized. I only had a few subs.
hit my
You
poison.
can't do much damage to me.
We all know what you're referring to, so we're adults here, but
Wait, I don't say it. What? What's that word?
I
Which one?
remember the first time I heard it, a Brit guy said it to me, and I was like, "Sorry, dude, I'm all out of." But I think I said something like, "But try downtown Hollywood."
Oh my god, why do I keep getting hit?
wife is game raging. I'm just waiting to hear a desk clip from behind me.
What's Cinnabon? How you been?
What? Hold on a second.
No one knows what's going on.
I can't hear you.
This is stupid. Why do we
He's playing with his bunnies.
All right, so JP's, what part of Canada are you from? The good part?
I'm in the same part as Rambling Canuck is.
Oh, the good part.
Good, I don't
Good.
think so.
JP is not a dirty separatist. Then.
No.
Oh my god!
Is that
what
Saskatchewan
happened?
or
No, it's Winnipeg.
Winnipeg? Yeah, Winnipeg.
No, it's my wife. She's playing
Okay.
MMO, and she's getting rage. Just waiting for the Tourette's to kick in, and she could start swearing.
So it's basically me working every day.
It's like Winnipeg. Yeah, that's kind of like North Dakota or something.
It's a couple hours of drive north of North Dakota. Maybe 2 hours or less. I don't know. I haven't been down into the States since they basically post 9/11, where we have to have stupid passports. Before that, it was all you had to have is your driver's license, and you just cross the border.
Back in the good old days.
Exactly. When you could drive back up here with like a trunk full of alcohol and tobacco.
See, that's just called trade. You know, you bring money in, you buy some stuff, take it back home with you. It's like tourism almost.
Exactly. Or you'd go down there with your parents before school starts to buy a crap load of cheap clothes, and you come back over the border and they've got you wearing like 5 or 6 t-shirts.
What would you go visit a U.S. Walmart?
No, well, yeah, it would be Target.
Oh, Target.
And what's that? Payless shoe stores.
We have people here.
That's before they were up in Canada. So we're talking like late 80s, early 90s.
Sam, that's because you are young. I forgot.
You know what? I still feel stupid like when I was 18, so that's completely fine. How old are you, Sam?
Sam's like
From Mesmer.
mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
Ouch.
think.
Mid-20s.
I used to be that.
Get
like 21 years ago.
23. Oh, there it goes. 23.
Oh my
I was
god.
close.
I'm 45, so
Sam says I have no memory of pre 9/11. What, did someone hit you in the head? Just kidding.
I'm just chatting with my wife, who is sitting downstairs, and we just.
Well, wait, that was 19 years ago, so Sam would have been like 4.
okay.
Oh, 5. Okay, 5. Come on, Sam. I remember the 70s. I wasn't even alive yet. I just watched a lot of 70s movies.
God.
Have you guys ever like had that where you think you remember something, but you only remember it from like a pre-replayed recording?
What?
What?
Never mind.
As long as you're not remembering stuff from your previous lifetime.
Maybe that's what it is.
Wesley has constant deja vu.
Deja vu of shit I haven't even seen before. So. Yeah, it's called Every Single Bird's Dream. It's like, haven't I seen bird crash a ship into a mountain before?
Bird crashing? I never saw bird crashing.
That doesn't happen. What?
Shut up. Oh yeah. See, Sam gets what I'm talking about. Sam remembers the 80s, but it was all horror movies.
I have extensive knowledge of the 80s, but I caught up on the 80s in early 90s.
All right,
and that,
all right.
and that's truth, because obviously the borders were closed. The only connection to the Western world that I had was we got Austrian TV, because they tried to disrupt the signal with some towers on the borders, but the signal from the TV stations and radio stations from Austria was way stronger than what they were able to disrupt the signal. So, but let's say the waves could, the TV signal and the radio signals could carry, I don't know how many hundreds of miles. They were able to limit it to maybe 100. So only a small radius of the country got the signal, but still we got it from Austria.
How cut off information-wise were you when you were under occupation?
Come again?
How cut off were you guys information-wise from the Western world when you guys were
Completely.
Completely. So when you heard stuff, did you think it was just propaganda, or did you
the thing was there was a radio, there were like few radio stations on not on shortwaves but on long wave radio, called, one of them was called Free, when I translated to English, one was called Free Europe, and the second one, very popular here, was Voice of America. And you could, and they were broadcasting on certain hours during the day, and I can remember that my grandparents were listening to the radio stations. Like, they unplugged first the landline. They unplugged, really, they unplugged the landline, and they were basically glued on the radio so that they could listen to it, because it was a very low quality, almost like walkie-talkie quality.
Wow.
And that's how we got the news, what's happening in reality outside, in the outside world. For example, about Chernobyl, we heard from those radio stations, not from the local news, because obviously everything was here played down.
Right.
The good thing is that Slovakia didn't get that much radiation at the time, because how the weather patterns were at the time. So when you look at the historical maps, the Nordic countries in Europe, they got all the shitstorm from the radiation and everything. Us, it was very little, very little, fortunately.
So I'm assuming since they unplugged the landline, it was probably illegal to even listen to those radio.
Yeah, of course it was illegal.
Yeah.
It was
What
illegal.
was the punishment if you were caught?
Jail.
Wow.
And when I say uranium mines, I mean uranium mines.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Siberia.
I couldn't imagine living under that, man.
It was horrible, and you could lose your job, and it didn't matter. You could have a university degree. If you were found out, you ended up first for a few years in jail,
Oh Jesus.
and then you would end up as working on the streets, like paving the roads and this kind of stuff immediately. You couldn't return back to your life. So it was.
Your grandparents were crazy radicals.
Yeah. You know what? Everybody was listening to it, and another thing. Since the good thing was that basically here Shironimor says, I remember great TV in the 80s, MacGyver, Miami Vice, TNG, and Knight Rider. You wrote, Wesley, and those. You know what? TNG wasn't available in Europe, in general in Europe, until the early 90s. But all the other TV shows, those were my German teachers. So I always say that Michael Knight taught me German.
That's funny.
Is
It's-
Hasselhoff a big star out there?
I didn't know David Hasselhoff
I
spoke
know I'm
German.
speaking German.
David Hasselhoff was huge in Germany. He
Yeah.
was huge in Germany. Yeah.
About the other.
So, Yos, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, once information could come into your country, what was your first impression of the United States? Like, what did you think United States was like? And
I had a little bit different situation. I had a little bit different situation with the United States because the brother of my uncle, my mother's brother, was working in Washington at the embassy.
cool.
But you should see me when I saw the first time a CD when he came when he came back to Czechoslovakia, or when he was visiting Czechoslovakia at the time. He was working at the embassy, and he showed us pictures. Guys, those were so funny pictures from the United States, because he was there with the family, and they were at in Florida. Is it Disney World in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Disney World in Florida,
No.
and he showed us pictures. You see, this is us, and the shadows here in the corner are the secret agents from CIA. So in every single picture that they took, they were either agents from the CIA or the Russian KGB hiding.
Oh my God.
So in every single picture, his wife got pregnant with their third child while they were in the United States. They had to come back to Czechoslovakia, so she could. So she gave the birth of to the child here in Czechoslovakia, so that the kid doesn't have the United States citizenship.
Right.
So in one of those pictures, you're saying could be a very young Putin.
I'm not sure if he was stationed in the United States at the time. This I don't know, but definitely he was a KGB agent. But he was probably somewhere in his 20s at the time, so I'm not sure if he was in the United States at the time.
Well, that's kind of a crazy story you got there.
I have plenty of stories. It's just, you know what, we got our first just to understand, we didn't have a simple situation as a family even before, because my parents are divorced since early 80s. I was a little boy when they got a divorce, and my mother is a teacher, and so the money was always, let's say, short. Yeah. And we got our first color TV in '86, I think. Just imagine that situation. The first color TV, 1986. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's not like there were not no color TVs, but we couldn't just afford it. Yeah, at the time. And anyway, we had like 2 TV stations plus 2 from Austria. So what should you watch? Anyway.
Wait, so there's 2 legal stations and 2 illegal stations?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I didn't get a color TV. Well, our family didn't get a color TV until '82 or '83.
So, okay. So
But
it wasn't that horrible. Okay, so only a few years behind. Yeah. So, but the funny thing was that my mother's brother, we had our currency here, and for diplomats, there were diplomatic stores with a special currency. It was they were really called bonds, like you have bank bonds
Yeah.
in the bank. Those were bonds, and they were in the same size as normal money, like normal banknotes, but they had you could apply them only in diplomatic stores, and they were a huge thing on the black market. But my mother's brother, he was my uncle. Since he was in diplomatic services, he was paid in that currency. So and when my mother told him that that she wanted to buy a color TV, you could buy the color TV. You could either wait a year, or you could go to those diplomatic stores and buy it there. And so basically, what he did, they exchanged. So he gave her the bonds, the diplomatic money, and we went to the store to buy the TV. We put the money down, and they were supposed to deliver the TV like in the next 2 or 3 days, which they delivered, which is okay. But just imagine the situation: we came home from the store, and the door we didn't put down our coats, and the phone rang, and it was the secret police asking my mother where she got the money from.
And she's like, my brother gave it to me.
Yeah, my brother working for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, just contact him, and they were like, thank you very much. Okay, but anyways, we just came home. We barely came home, and they called us like, immediately. They were probably waiting somewhere around the corner just to ring the phone, because it was landline at the time, obviously. No mobile phones. The mid of the 80s. So crazy stories, and the color TV was cost us 15,000. And just imagine, it was like 15. Basically, with the inflation and everything going with the money, it's the same as you would pay now 15,000 for a TV. Or let's say let's say 10,000 of dollars. Yeah, let's say $10,000 to $15,000 for a color TV. So it was really half year's salary, or something like that. Even probably even more. I don't know, because at the time I was something like 10. Yeah, so I didn't have the.
So what you're telling me is you're a spoiled brat and you demanded a color TV so you can watch.
No. It was simply because the black and white TV that we had basically stopped working. So we wanted to have a TV. Yeah.
And that's
So we went. We went full Imperial, and we bought a color TV. Yeah.
That's what started Yosef on his path to being a Bond villain.
Bond villain, yes. That's and for the same reason. For example, my favorite Bond movie is The Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton, because it is Bond is in Bratislava, so in Slovakia, and the Bond girl is a cellist from Slovakia that he is protecting throughout the movie. So that's why it's like a nostalgia thing, and I love the movie. And the funny thing is, when they filmed the outside in Austria, just to be as close as possible to the architecture and everything, but they messed up because Slovak language and Czech language are two different languages. Despite since we were like one country, I speak both, but those are like two different Slavic languages, but different. At this moment, for example, little children don't understand the Czech language, and Czech kids don't understand the Slovak language properly. It's like you would understand maybe something like 50-60% of the language, but the rest is completely different. Yeah, but all the signs on the street in the Bond movie were half Czech, half Slovak. So
Maybe
it
was
was.
maybe it's right on the border.
so it's funny to observe all the movie mistakes. Yeah. For example, door handles in that movie, we don't have the round door handles anywhere here. It's not a common thing. Like you have in the houses as well,
Yeah.
round door handles. It's nothing like here.
What's your door handles look like? Levers?
Yes, levers, basically levers, exactly.
It's more clean too, because you can open it up with an elbow, a foot, a knee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the round ones are really, but you won't find the round door handles around Europe actually. Or if you find them, it's on the main doors of the houses or something like this. But definitely, and in that only relatively rarely. Sam, go to sleep. Sam says it was nice meeting and chatting with you all, but it's almost 4 a.m. for me. Okay, just go and have some sleep.
Later, Sam. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Sam.
Yeah, Sam. I just actually realized the only round doorknob I have on my house is the front door.
Most of mine are round at my house.
Yeah.
But at the stores, you can buy the lever kind or the round kind. You can buy either kind.
Yeah. Shornemore confirms same in Ireland. Very few places have a round door handle. It's really rare to see them. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a kind of a English and U.S. thing.
Honestly, not even in UK. You have it where I saw it. It's on hotels. In hotels, that's something common. Or when you have like around the door handle on houses, it's like it's not. It only looks like round one that you could turn, but it's basically a dummy one, so that you just pull on it to close the door. So most of for example, most of the houses here in where I live, they don't have a door handle on the outside. So basically, you can lock yourself out pretty simply just by shutting the door behind you.
Huh. See, cultural differences, and I didn't even know that there would be that.
There is a fantastic YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I know that I mentioned it in some of the streams. It's called Kelly Does Her Thing, and it's about it's run by a girl American girl, She lived in Germany for a year and a half, and she has her channel based on the differences between Germany / Europe and United States. And the channel is hilarious. The differences that she compares there. It's a really interesting and funny channel.
Does kind of sound funny.
And she does like 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos. So it's in small digestible pieces. And for example, you have probably you have at least what she told in one of her videos, the stores chain called Aldi, like a discount store chain.
Yeah, but Thomas Potts points out velociraptors can open up the non-round door handles, so the levers. You gotta watch out for those velociraptors.
Thomas, just go and watch again the first Jurassic Park. They opened the round ones as well. I think those were round, or am I wrong? I would have to go to Netflix and watch it, but I'm not going to tempt my luck now because I'm on my corporate notebook and my notebook has so much encryption on it, and the corporate image is so heavy with security that when I restart my computer, which is a very high configuration, and it should boot up like in 5 seconds, it takes up to 5 minutes, and sometimes when I want to open something, it takes an eternity.
So Joseph works for the government.
No, I don't work for the government. I work for Dell.
Joseph is the government.
Government doesn't have this kind of security. And it's nice to say I work for Dell, and you guys immediately know what it is, because I remember Dell wasn't Dell was before they started basically their call center here in Slovakia. Nobody knew about Dell as a computer manufacturer, but we had a chocolate bar, something like a Snickers, called Deli, D-E-L-I. Called and when they asked me where I'm working, and I said Dell, they asked me for the chocolate manufacturer. I said, yeah, almost, because Dell was popular only in the world of corporations, and was relatively not known in consumer markets. Since then, obviously, situation changed. Dell is, I think, number 2 or 3 on the local market right now.
So how good are those Deli chocolate bars?
You know what? Many different flavors. None of them I like none of them, but they are popular still popular, and they are. And it's one of those brands that we used to have here, I think, since the 70s or something. And so that's why, and it was one of the more popular brands. But I don't like it very much because when they had like one flavor, it was chocolate, pistachio chocolate. Now they have maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 different kinds of them, but it used to be a chocolate pistachio, and it was fairly popular, yeah, and I think still is, because you can get all the stuff here that you can buy in the United States, or most of it, at least the most popular and world known brands. You can get it here.
I think sure.
But but many people prefer the local chocolate bars, local candies as well. They are good. I like the taste because let's say something like a Mars bar or um, I'm not sure what all the names are, that they just don't come to my mind right now. They are basically sugar with some flavor. It's too sweet for my taste.
Oh,
You
okay.
could just cover it all by saying Nestle.
Yeah, Nestle, exactly. But you know what? They have different products for different markets as well.
Ooh, I think Yosef's the only one
Chronomore,
that's
I will definitely. I'm not going to Cork in the near future, but when I'm over, I will announce it.
Anyways, I was gonna say I think Yosef's the only one that's really awake on this stream.
Most probably because it's 10 a.m. here. So. But the good thing is, with Easter approaching and the whole crisis, right now the workload really went down. Really, like maybe last week it was maybe 50%, and now it's even more. So
So you're just kind of sitting around the office.
home office, yeah.
Home office.
The thing is, I live in a house and it has. You always call it bedrooms, so it has. Despite there is no bed here, so it's like five bedroom house. So and two of them we turned into home office because my wife is working from one and I have another one.
That's cool.
Yeah, we used to have only one until last week, but since she is very territorial, she kicked me out of my home office because she's now working from home as well. So we had to buy a new desk, new chair, and I ordered from the company a new monitor as well. They didn't allow me to purchase. I wanted a curved 34-inch one. They said no, 27 must be enough, and I said okay, send me the 27-inch. I don't care.
I mean, 227 inches.
Come again?
I'd tell them to give me 227 inches.
You have to cook them slowly, like a frog. You know, you cannot throw a frog into boiling water. You need to start with cold water. I started with one, and I will get a second one soon. So.
Wait. Did they just give you this monitor, or you have to buy it?
They gave it to me. It's
Would you ever say
like,
no to Joseph?
or like they gave it to me. The cost center that I'm working for had to pay for it.
Oh,
But honestly, the monitors that I have in the other home office that my wife is occupying right now, I bought those monitors, and I have there a 38-inch and a 34-inch sitting next to each other.
Wait, so why does your wife get the better monitors?
You said it earlier. Happy wife, happy life. And honestly, if you've seen what she's doing, it's like she is neck deep into databases, and she's working with Excel, Access, some other programs that I have no idea what they are. And when I look at those charts, it's just like rows of numbers and formulas. I'm lost. I'm lost in what she's doing. So. And she says she is marketing. I said no, you're analytics, and whatever you're doing, I have no idea what you're doing. I'm just sales support basically. Yeah. They ask me what to sell to a customer, and I tell them. Basically, that's my job. That's the best configuration. This is the best price you can go for. Sell this.
So, Joseph, I've got a good story for you. I used to work in a little computer store here in our city. And what they were doing was they were claiming that they sell Dell in store. So what they would do is they'd go ahead, order a bunch of Dell computers right from Dell, get them store and then resell them on location.
Mm-hmm. But when was it?
This was early 2000s.
Early 2000s. At the time, Dell was working only with something called direct model. So you buy it directly from the manufacturer. But 2007-ish, the situation changed. So now we are not only selling directly, but obviously now there is distributors, partners, and everything. So the whole chain is already, let's call it, legal, because it was at the time it was basically a gray market if you bought it like for the retail and you sold it through retail. Because obviously when you buy like, let's say, dozen of computers, you get certain discount, and then you can sell it for the same price that is on the internet. And since you have it on stock, you didn't have to wait at the time for, I don't know, a week or two till the system gets delivered. So there were that was actually the gray zone, but it's not anymore. Now you can go and buy Dell in the local stores. I think at least, and there are many countries around the world where only the distribution market works, where Dell has no like direct presence in that country, and you can sell it only through retailers or distributors.
Yeah, this was far beyond the gray zone though, because they were marking up the prices and just do it.
It's free market. It's free market if the people were buying it. So if you early 2000s means there was not internet was not that widely spread. So yeah, I remember I started with Dell in 2003 as a sales agent on the phone. And just imagine, and we were supporting the German market and the German consumer market. And I remember, let's say, Dell started in officially in February 2003 in Slovakia, officially supporting the German consumer market. And because in Slovakia it was German was popular in the schools, so I speak German as well, so that's why I got the job at the time. And just imagine, we were 400 people supporting only the German market. It was the workforce was something like 250 people in sales. Then there was tech support and customer care. Those three departments, and it was over 400 people on the phones. And we had before Christmas, so the crazy began somewhere mid-November. And just imagine 250 people taking calls, taking orders, and there were queues waiting, phone calls. We had those digital wall boards.
Yep.
And we saw how many people were in the queue waiting. Sometimes there were 30, 40 people waiting in a queue just to order a PC at the time. So it was way before internet. Now we have I think 15 people supporting the market, because everything's online. Yes, please.
You're making me feel spoiled again, because I think in 2003 or early 2004, I bought my second computer, a Dell, just from Best Buy. I just walk into Best Buy and go, okay, I want to buy a computer.
Yeah, but that's pretty much. I can imagine that there were some contracts between Dell and Best Buy.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, how different it is over in the U.S. compared to, like, your part of Europe, where everyone had to order it through phones or through the internet.
But the thing is at the time now basically you can select from, I don't know, let's say 70 different configurations. But at the time you had to wait for and we had the production facility was in Limerick in Ireland.
Okay.
And you had to wait for your computer for something like for 2 weeks to have it delivered. But it was based on your specification. You could select You could select the type of computer and basically configure it with the agent on the phone, starting with the processor, how much memory you want, what size of hard drive, what type of CD or DVD, what type of floppy drive at the time, obviously still. Whatever you wanted, you could configure on that system. And of course, we had to sell as well services, because that's the margin-rich part of the business. But the services were pretty good. I know that people are sometimes mad about services, but at least you have some kind
Like
of service.
Dell warranties.
Mm-hmm. The Dell warranty, it was crazy big push that we had to sell it. And in Europe, it was even harder than in the United States, because within European Union, you have on everything that you buy online, 14 days is minimum return warranty, and in Germany it was, I think, up to 30 days. You could return your product, and you had immediately you have 2 years manufacturer warranty. You have to get 24 months immediately, and I think in the United States it's not regulated. You have something like 6 months or 1 year warranty.
It all depends on what plan. Because some places offer
yeah.
even like 24 and 36.
But the minimum is 24 in Europe. You cannot sell if it's not consumables like batteries, for example. Even LED light bulbs have 2 years warranty, because it's not a light bulb; it's an electronic device.
That's a nice loophole.
It's not a loophole; it's a fact. It's an electronic device.
Well, I think most of the stuff here comes with limited 2-year warranties that don't cover anything. It's just paperwork. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And even retail stores, they are trying to upsell you warranty. Obviously, honestly, I buy it. If we had to replace our dishwasher after 8 years because it broke down, and the repair would be maybe €100 cheaper than a new one. So we decided to go for a new one, and with that one I bought a 5-year extended warranty, which was maybe, I don't know, €70 or something. But on something that but it was something like 10% of the price for the dishwasher. So that was still an okay deal for me, because at least there's some peace of mind for me in that. But if they are trying to sell me extended warranty on, I don't know, €50 headphones, I don't care. I don't buy it. Makes no sense, because anyway, the earbuds, especially when it's like, doesn't matter what kind of material you have on your earbuds. If you are wearing the headphones the whole day, it starts losing if it's a pad, it's not so firm anymore. If it's like with leather, the leather starts peeling off, and it's not covered by the warranty. So I don't care and I change them anyway after 2 years, because there is always a new model now. But I'm talking right now through a gaming headset. It's an Alienware.
So you went from demanding that your mom buy you a color TV to buying new headsets every year.
You know what? If somebody asks me what I want for birthday or Christmas or something, I usually end up with some kind of gadget anyway. And it's not like I couldn't afford it. It's like, if you want to buy me something that I'm going to use actually. And and I don't want anybody buying me expensive gifts. So if for example, I have a headset, headphones, wireless headphones from Jabra They were something like 200 euro, and I basically told my mother and my sister and my in-laws, okay, just put the money together and order it. Like, give me one gift, like, from everybody, because
One big gift.
honestly, honestly, when you think about it, if you have a normal paying job, you can afford the daily the small stuff anyway, and you cannot ask your family to buy you, I don't know, a brand new computer for 2K, or something like this. So, and if they feel bad that they didn't buy me anything, just put your money together, or give me a gift card from the same store, so I can combine those gift cards and buy it for myself or something. So that's how I approach those things. Makes sense. At least for me. Because honestly, if I want to buy a 200 euro headphones, I basically go for an approval to my wife, and and usually she says, like, again, and then I buy it. Yeah.
Oh, he's got to get the approval.
Yeah. But working for a corporation, you get the appreciation for an approval path.
I do too, Thomas. I prefer gift cards.
Yeah.
Wait, am I not seeing some of the chat? I don't see where Thomas put that.
Kronos, it's not hippie wives, it's happy wives.
Oh, wives, plural? What the hell is going on over there?
Well, they're hippies, so.
What it happened to me once. I introduced my wife to a friend of mine as my first wife, and she looked at me like I could see the middle fingers in her eyes, and she replied, "Your first ex-wife." Your first future ex-wife. And I was like, okay, burn. So no, it's happy wife, happy life, and yeah. Oh, we are not that happy now because we are on a lockdown. We can't go to movies, and this is probably the thing that I'm missing right now the most.
I'm trying to think what movies would even be out right now if this was
right now, like James Bond, for example, maybe already the new Ghostbusters. I think Black Widow should be soon out. Basically, all the movies of 2020 were postponed till either late this year or next year. Fast and Furious, next one should be out.
I heard something like they were gonna set some of those straight to streaming, where you just pay, to watch them from a streaming service.
But they are not going to do it for the real blockbusters.
Yeah, for the.
They are going to do it for movies that are sitting on the shelves and would be probably and they were probably not that expensive. But if you have like really a movie for $150 or $200 million, they are not going to release it on streaming services.
Well, I suppose they could, though. I mean, we don't really know how things are going to go once this is all over, and people might still be hesitant to go to a movie theater with a bunch of other people. So you never know; this might actually change.
People are dumb. People will go to the movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Immediately, and I'm dumb as well. I will go there as well, even if I had to wear a face mask.
But if they did do this, like let's say it was Black Widow or something, right? And it was like a one-time watch, and you pay $15 for streaming it for a one-time watch. People would pay that, and then they could at least get their money back. People like Bird would definitely pay for.
Yeah, I understand it, but honestly, when I go to cinemas, it's I have
the experience of going out.
It's the experience, and it's not as borderline insane like in the United States, because we come to the cinema, you have your own seating, and we don't scream during the movies, we don't clap during the movies. It's like you can actually hear the movie.
It's not that crazy here.
I don't think I've ever been to a movie where someone's been screaming in the movie or.
I mean, unless
laughing.
you're going to see Rocky Horror Picture Show or
But or you know what? When I saw like a few of the like people were recording their movie experience from Endgame or The Last Jedi or so those real big movies.
Right.
There
yeah,
were
I suppose.
people wreaking havoc there. So I'm not keen to see that. Maybe experience it once, but it wouldn't be a real movie experience for me that way, because I just want to enjoy the big screen. And for those real eye candy, when you have really like a special heavy special effect movie, I go to IMAX, and just to have it on the biggest possible screen. If it's like a normal movie, I go to normal, in quotes, normal movie theater.
I just
No.
don't get it. I've got a 42-inch screen at home. I can sit here and smoke. Watch
Yeah,
my TV.
exactly.
I can hit pause, go to the washroom, don't miss anything. I can get popcorn for really cheap and eat my own food and yell at the screen.
It's let's say for us, and I'm talking for myself and my wife. Yes, for us, it's like we usually go for Sunday noon screenings. So we go out to the shopping mall. We get to the food court. We have we either eat before the movie or after the movie. We get we grab some food. We see the movie. We have our popcorn, our Coke, and yeah. So just unwinding from the whole week, basically. Okay, now with the better, warmer weather and with the garden that we have, okay, at least we can spend some time outside. But during the winter, it's really the one thing that you can do. It's to go out and have some fun.
Yeah, it's just gotten way too expensive here to do that.
You know what? It's the two of us. We don't have kids. We both have decent paying jobs. So honestly, to spend something like 60, 70 euro on a weekend is not that horrible. And okay, it usually ends up with spending like 200 or 300 because it's not only the movie. Then it's this pair of shoes or this dress and the whole 9 yards. But
I get that.
but yeah, it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory, but at least you can go out and to meet people and everything, because otherwise I'm closed in the house, just working right now. And I said the most human interaction that I get these days is either here on YouTube or going to buy groceries. so now it's really crazy.
Yeah, I'd rather go for a drive like outside the city to like get maybe an ice cream cone or a hot dog or something. Because there you're getting outside, you're getting away from it all,
Yeah.
and you're supporting a small business.
Well, guys, I've been streaming for 2 hours, and I'm getting a little bit sleepy here.
Come on.
Oh, sure. The man wakes me up and then decides.
And decides
What
to
the
go
hell?
to sleep.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Chip.
So just
Well,
go
it's
back
pretty
to
much-
sleep.
It's pretty much been the Yosef. What is Czech or Slovakia life like?
Yeah. No, it's like sometimes I have the feeling that I take over the streams almost like Anti-Tracker does when I jump somewhere, because I just keep talking and talking and
Oh
talking.
well, it's 10 a.m. there, so you're awake and alert.
Yeah.
We're all like,
it's interesting. It's not nonstop talk about a supernova.
yeah, come on, yeah, you've shared your basically your life experience of from USSR government takeover to.
Yeah, it's like a nice history lesson for you guys. Yeah, I can imagine that those stories. For me, it's like, yeah, that was the life here. But yeah, definitely. At least I could entertain you in those late hours for you. Yeah.
If you stay on for another half an hour, Bird might come on.
Well, I saw DJ was live.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Is DJ live?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he still is.
Yep, he's still live.
Oh, he started only 56 minutes ago, so the stream can go for hours and hours and hours with him.
All right, how about I close this down and then we all go over to DJ's stream? Like, what are you doing, man?
Let's go bug him.
Let's go bug DJ.
See some unicorn furries.
Okay, guys. Thank you for having me on the stream. It was pleasure talking to you. And
it was
the
fun
guys in
listening.
chat.
It was fun listening. You talk for like an hour and a half.
You know what? It's like I used to work as a sales trainer at Dell. So really delivering sales trainings, hardware trainings, tools trainings for a decade. So I'm used to talk for hours and hours and
on
hours.
DJ stream, Captain Trek and V-Man are on there.
It can be interesting. Let's go over there.
We'll go give him some shit.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
All right,
Have a
thank
great
you
day.
everyone for watching, and have a great night.
Great night. Okay, great night for you. Great day for me. Okay, guys. Talk
Thanks,
to you.
guys.
Bye.